morning, everyone. I'm Samuel Lazar from Cambridge Institute of Technology North Campus. And for Samsung project, I have chosen the topic as a medical recommendation system. This is a machine learning system which utilizes support vector classification to predict the disease based on the patient's symptoms and give diet, medications, workouts, and etc. First, I have loaded the database from Kaggle using these instructions. Once the data set is downloaded, I'm unzipping it with this instruction and importing the following data sets. These are the following data sets which have been downloaded. So first, I'm reading the symptoms data set. So symptoms data set, we can see that there is a number of diseases which are extended here, and the corresponding symptoms are given up to symptom 4. For each disease, corresponding symptoms are given, and we can see that if using this one unique function, we can see these are the number of diseases which are given in the data set, and the unique values are 41. So 41 diseases are given, and corresponding symptoms, symptom 1, 2, 3, 4 are there in the data set. The next data set is symptom severity. In this data set, you can see that each symptom is given a corresponding weightage. So, if we draw a graph, plot a graph with it, we can see that a corresponding symptoms has particular weightage. So we can see that high fever gets a lot of weightage, whereas lethargy gets least weightage. So we can come to a conclusion that since lethargy is common in different diseases, it's given less weightage, and high fever is given more weightage. Likewise, a burning urination or malnutrition is given more weightage, meaning it's more severe. So the next data set is precautions. So precautions also we have the disease name and the number of precautions to be taken. These are the various diseases and the corresponding precautions. If you plot a graph with it, you can see that the corresponding precautions are given so many things. So we can see the consulting a doctor is given more number of times, because this is just a recommendation system, not an actual, it's not that accurate. So consulting a doctor is a must. We can see that eating healthy, exercise are all given more, given multiple number of times, and some common things like eliminating milk if you have lactose intolerance, or avoiding food, cold food, etc. are given a less number of times. Now we come to training the model. For training model, there's a given training data set which is given, and you can see that each symptoms has a binary value, either 1 or 0, and corresponding, if it is true, you can see that it's either fungal infection and the corresponding things. So if we have either blackheads or scarring or skin peeling, you can see it is corresponding to acne. So likewise, this data set contains binary values for each symptoms, which gives the corresponding disease, which is prognosis. So the shape is this one. So there are so many number of diseases and 133 symptoms. These are the number of the diseases. So we import scikit-learn model selection and to train the model, and label encoder in order to encode the disease column. So this disease column needs to be encoded so that the machine can know which disease to select, because the machine works on binary system. Next, in the data set, we take x-axis as the only the symptoms. Since the last one, prognosis column, is a disease, we drop it. So the x column becomes only the symptoms, and the y becomes the prognosis, which is the result. And next, we encode the y as the encoded, and we train the data set using x train and x test, y train and y test as 0.3. So this 0.3 signifies that 70% of the data set is going to x train, and the 30% is going to x test. So x train is trace the model, and x test the model based on the 30% of the data set, so that you get the corresponding y test. And here I have imported SVC, which is support vector classification. This is a supervised learning algorithm which primarily works on the binary data. It forms the hyperplane between two values so that we get an accurate distance between each value. And we import scikit-learn metrics to find out the accuracy and control confusion matrix and numpy. So first we load the model. To train the model, we train it with X-train and Y-train, and we test the model using X-test. So X-test, once we test the model using X-test, we check its accuracy using the Y-test and prediction. So once we predict it, we can see that the accuracy is 1, so it's 100% because, and you can see that only the diagonal is showing the digits, and the rest above and below the diagonal are zeros. This signifies that the data which you get is pre-processed or good, and the accuracy is good, 100%. So if we plot a graph for it, we can see that it is a straight line, there is no deviation, and the accuracy is 100%. So we load the data set as SVC, and we predict it. So on here, when we run the predicted test, it is 40, and the actual digit is 40. We get 40 because we have already encoded it using the label encoder. So the machine gets it as 40, and the actual digit is also 40. Now we import the rest of the data sets here, and using this helper function, we can, when we enter the symptoms, the predicted disease, the get predicted disease gets called using the user symptoms. Get predicted disease is here. Using the patient symptoms, we get the length of the predicted disease as 0. So we are using the length as 0, and we, based on the user disease, we give it as 1. So in the binary data which you saw, so only the symptoms which are given by the user is given as 1. The rest becomes 0. So this one is sent back to predicted disease, and the predicted disease, and using that since we got the binary data, so whichever diseases symptoms are there, which is gotten as 1 and the rest are 0, this is now given to the model. Yeah, we use the model to predict using the disease and return the disease. So if at all run a test here using these symptoms, you can see that the predicted disease is fungal infection, the description is given, the corresponding precautions, medications, workout, and diets. Now this I have made it into a website, which is here. This is my website, getting started. Register name. And now here you can select the symptoms which the patient is feeling. Let's say we have cells, and you predict. We get it as allergies. The description will be, it's an immune system reaction with a particular substance. Precautions, apply calamine, cover the area with bandage, use ice to compress as the allergies. And the medications are antihistamine, epinephrine, etc. Workouts are given.